Men are more than their wallets. They are leaders, teachers, and protectors of land. They provide fulfillment and structure. Men are farmers and constructors. Mr. Kevin Samuels brought a form of reassurance to men regarding their value. Are fathers preparing their daughters for marriage? Are fathers hindering their daughters' logic? Let's discuss.
That's a very basic way of looking at a at a creature that's divine. That's a very, you know what I'm saying. That's not our only function. That's
Right.
that's, you know what I'm saying. Like, a woman is more than just her. A part of her is her being able to being a nurturer, but that's not all who
Right.
she is.
Exactly.
That's
And
not
and,
all
and
who
a
she
man
is.
a man is more than his dick and more than his wallet.
Right.
You know, a man provides leadership. He provides provision. He provides foresight. He provides protection. And baby, if I'm down to die for you, that's the ultimate submission, whether you believe it or not.
I remember you saying that you do feel. I mean, obviously, so that is the ultimate sacrifice.
So,
But
you know, some women don't understand submission because they talk to a lot of other idiotic women about submission who don't know what it is, and bad information just gets passed around.
I think you know what, I'll challenge that a little bit. I do think. I
Okay.
think I'll say this. I think when it comes to women and their children, they understand that.
Of course.
And
But like our last conversation, us men were only loved only under certain conditions.
Sure.
You know, if your look is right, she wants you. If your money right, she wants you. If the sex good, she wants you. Let one of them shits be out of whack and she ain't trying to hear you. But check it out, Khalil. How many times have you tried to talk to a woman and you just want to get to know who she is? You didn't even ask her what she do. Does that mean that some men have genuine interest in women and we're not just worried about what you're going to bring to the table because we're not worried about your money? And that's another reason why Kevin Samuels used to say, we ain't worried about your PhD. You're not going to give us no money anyway. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's funny because there was a very insightful sister that I was listening to on another podcast, and she said, realistically, in our society, she's like, there's no way that we can develop generational wealth off one income. There's no way, and
I agree.
No, and it's true. It's true. And having that conversation with certain women, I know that yields some challenges because the expectation is you're expecting a man to foot the whole bill. It's like, okay, well, what are you doing with your salary? And because I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes
she's saving it until she breaks up with your ass and make sure she got some bread put up. Let's go on and keep it real.
I know, I hear that, and I know some operate that way. You know what I'm saying? We are aware. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes when I hear the expectations being talked about, I don't hear. I hear the desire to be taken care of, like how your father should have taken care of you, and not.
That's supposed to be her first love.
Yeah, but see, even that, and that's why I challenge fathers too. It's like, yes, you take care of your daughters, but you also need to teach them how to. And I think fathers are guilty of this too. But even the ones who are present, fathers are guilty of spoiling their daughters for the interactions with other men. It's like, look, you're just as responsible for getting her ready to interact with another man. You're just as responsible. You're just as responsible.
You're right.
Like, you need
absolutely
to prepare
right.
her. You need to prepare her for what she's going to have to be able to understand in dealing with a man in his journey in becoming a better man, or even more, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being like, you need to have those conversations. And from a lot of the conversations I've gathered, a lot of these motherfuckers be spoiling their daughters and like, yo, man, you part of the problem. You part of the problem. Like, I'm not saying not to treat your daughter right, but give her insight to where she can give her insight to where she can interact with the man and be able to discern like I can do life with him. Not he's
Right.
gonna do life for me. I can do life
Exactly.
with him.
Exactly. And like you say, a lot of dads, and I'm about to be kind of hypocritical because I don't have any kids, so I have a niece, so, but I'm not gonna just act like, hey, you're just this, you basically you're not above men, some this and ain't no man good enough for. You can't be telling your daughter that. You good?
It broke up. It broke up. You say, what did you say? You can't tell your daughter that? What did you say?
No, I was basically saying that some of these fathers, they sit around and just, they'll say comments like, yeah, ain't nobody good enough for my princess. Next thing you know, your princess grow up with this arrogant ass attitude, calling into the Godfather show, and he gotta teach her some shit.
Yeah, it's like,
and may he rest in peace.
Right. I mean, my thing is like, bro, the reality is she was birthed here to create other life. She was birthed here to be a co-creator, like,
right.
And I know, and I can only imagine. I know for a lot of men, it's hard for them to accept. Hey, someday somebody's gonna be dicking down my daughter. I get it. I get it. But come off that crumb shit. Like you had.
That's a part of life.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Your daughter's gonna have relations. Your mom, if she's not married, she gonna have her life. Your sister, your niece, you can't stop it, and they can't stop you. So, we got to do better as a whole, just as a community, just with relationships and like I say, that's a big part of Kevin Samuels and what he used to preach about. Was the relationship dynamic and just being there for each other. He preached about unity, wanting us to unite, right. But we're so divided, and that's the disorder that we need to have treated.
So Derek the diplomat said, man's version of submission may not be familiar to women because they get their advice from other women instead of us learning each other's love language and sacrifice. I think that's a perspective